freak.
Alright, let's pick up some quests. We're level 1. What are we doing? We got nothing. I'm thinking we either go for... Well, I don't really know what we should go for. Oh, whoops. I messed up. Our first order of business should be to pick up the quests. And then probably get all the question marks.
It's raining, it's pouring, and Vermeer's snoring. He bumped his head when he went to bed and wet himself in the morning.
What the fuck am I to do? Eh? What?
Jetty,
What happened here?
Oh, got a wee bit chilly tonight, so I set fire to my forge. Got it nice and roaring. Roasted some wieners. What do you think happened, dimwit? Some bugger set alight me workshop. I've lost everything. Everything!
Easy on the insults. I could add to your misfortune. Any suspects?
Whole damned village. I've lived here half a century. Thought they saw me as one of their own. But everything changed when the Black Ones came. I'm the only smith around, so I got to service their garrison. Bang dents out your plate, shoe horses. That sort of thing. Nilfgaardians don't pay me a bloody copper. Just give me supplies and orders. The humans can't fathom that. They think I'm getting rich off their misfortune. That I sleep on a pile of gold like a ploughing dragon. They've stopped talking to me. Spit when I pass. And now this.
I can find your arsonist, provided you're willing to pay.
I've not much left, but I'll give you all if you bring me that horse in, so that he gets what he deserves. The night of the fire, I heard movement outside my hut. Went out to see if I could find any tracks. I found nothing. But then I haven't got cat eyes, have I?
Oh. Yo, so the first piece of news is that I can't party chat until February 14th.
Good luck.
For the third fucking time, I honestly couldn't tell you. I spent most, if not all, my time playing Cyberpunk, so my guess is that the guy who originally got me suspended the first 2 times got me resuspended again because I had sent him like 9 or 10 messages with every slur in the book of like every bad thing I could say to him. And I'm thinking he must have had a really big grudge or something, and he saw that he could report more than one message, so he just has been reporting each and every message individually over time, maybe. I don't know.
Tinderbox.
In GTA, yeah, he griefed me, and then I started
Large.
trash talking him back, and I guess, like, it's a common thing on GTA to grief someone, and then send a message through PSN itself to, like, kind of coax them into getting mad, and then the second they send you anything back, you just report them.
Vodka.
It's a pretty common practice, apparently. Yeah, well, I mean, he deserved it. He deserved to get told he was all those things, because he is all those things. But yeah.
Took off his boots and went in the
But,
probably wanted to cover his trail.
yeah, I was getting afraid too because I was thinking PSN would have caught on and saw that that's a workaround to being able to still use social features, but they haven't because Sony's retarded. And on top of that, if we talk through here, they actually can't record the audio of what we say here as well because it's third party. So that's a plus. Yeah. As far as yesterday, it's a culmination of a huge, long history of my entire relationship with
He jumped out of the rushes.
extended family members.
Escape.
Oh boy, alright. So my earliest memory of specifically Jennifer, that I started to catch on to what her character is and how she is.
He jumped out of the rushes. Drowners.
My
But he managed to
cousin
escape.
Jemin and I were sitting on these like
Surface
inflatable like ball things, or they were big enough to sit on, and they were like bouncy and colored.
tracks lead back to the village.
It's not quite that. It was more like meant for play and not for exercise, but similar. Yeah, it was sturdy enough to sit on, but bouncy and squishy enough to like have it. You'll leave a dent in it when you sit on it, but then it'll return to form as soon as you get off of it. So yeah, something like that. And we were just we were both on one and kicking the other person's ball so that we would potentially fall off. And that was the game, right? We would kick until somebody fell. And then sure enough, I won. And he fell, but he didn't just fall, he fell and I guess hit his head or something and was crying. So Jennifer's response was to kick me as hard as possible off the ball with her strength, and you can imagine an adult kick power versus a child's kick power is definitely not the same fucking thing. And then drags me across the floor by the collar of my shirt and just throws me into the guest bedroom of my since passed grandmother's house. Oh yeah, she is in all regards mostly an abusive person.
It's got
But that was my earliest memory of like her overall character.
Run into a drowner.
What the fuck do you care?
And,
Our arsonist's a charmer, too. Come on. Smith wants to
I was
talk
like
to you.
4.
I not talk to a non-human. Sons of bitches all, and dwarves are the worst. Greedy little
My dad's sister, she's the host of she was the one who put the party on. So, overall though, if I were going to, skip all the other stuff because it's memory after memory. Like, there was another memory where she got donuts for everybody and the donuts were visible. And my brother pointed at one and she spent 2.5 hours yelling at him, and because Dan thought that he actually touched a donut instead of just pointing at it. So they basically traumatized my brother and yelled and screamed at him for 2.5 hours when he didn't even do anything wrong at all. And that moment was a moment where my mom, or my parents in general, decided not to have us go over there anymore, unattended with them being there, because of her overall actions. I was bitten and assaulted by her 2 dogs when we went over one time to a different house she was living in at the time. And so they had to put the dogs down. But the reason they bit me wasn't actually entirely the dog's fault, because they were made to act like that around men because of
Let me have a look at your
the guy who was the husband at the time is... I don't know how much I really would be able to share. Let's just say he did a crime that is the worst crime you could probably think of that you could do to your own child.
Take it.
Yeah, so we don't like that previous husband. And a lot of the abusive traits and tendencies that she has come from 2 separate people that were both abusive, but in different ways. Fuck. I just died. But anywho, the main moral of the story is that she's absorbed bad over a long period of history of time that I have never known her. Everything I have said, my dad and people who have known her for way, way longer than I have can vouch that she's just...
Greetings.
Yeah, she's one of those people that you don't want to associate with if you can help it. Yeah. Overall, if I could tell you, the kind of character she is, she's self-absorbed, hypocritical, verbally abusive, somewhat physically abusive, but it really depends on when that happened, because I don't really think she's that physical with anybody anymore. But there is a history there. There's a lot more than that. What else do I got? Okay, so she's a Christian, right? But she's one of those hypocritical Christians, the hypocristians, if you will. You know the kinds of people who will get up and tell their entire congregation that you can't be Christian if you vote Democrat, or, if you're trans, that means you're going to hell. Those kinds of people are she's not quite like that specifically, but she does have tries to be as pious as possible and all of that, and is very, obnoxious about it.
in that regard. Like, you as a religious person aren't the same as her. You would easily figure that out by being around her, like where your differences in beliefs lie, and like how you guys are as characters. I think you would have very difficult time getting along in the same room as this person. And there's just a long history of that. There's like a long history of her making decisions that I fundamentally disagree with and hate. And, you know, there's times where, like, they've said or had opinions about my mom or me or you name it, and told the kids, their kids, about it. And so I'm black sheeped because of, this is more recent. So I'm black sheeped because a while back ago, I was on a call, and at the time I was trying to rekindle a relationship with, you know, the person I was talking about that is on the spectrum. I was trying to be supportive and all of that and, like, have a relationship. And I said, I'm going to be honest about something that is bugging me and that I don't like, and this is mainly the reason why we don't want to hang out with you guys anymore, especially me, is because I'm dealing with this issue of that's pretty much pure chemical and not really like, it's not really a romantic thing. It's a physical thing only. And I don't feel good about it. Like, it doesn't make me feel like a good person. And I was telling her this in confidence because I said, and she promised not to bring it up, and then did it anyway. And that was the first time I ever was, like, fully betrayed. I was like, dude, this is a top priority thing. You should not tell anybody. I'm telling you this in confidence that you will not tell anyone else while I'm having to deal with it. And once it's dealt with, then we can go back to, you know, being how we are. Nope. She blurts it out, I guess, in breakfast time or something, to everybody. And not only that, she says it as explicitly as possible of what it is. So basically just blew away all of the trust that I put into her. And it was at that moment that I realized you cannot tell her anything. She will tell everybody. You cannot tell her anything secretive. You cannot confide in her. You cannot do anything of that sort because she will blurt it out. Because that's what she does. She just fucking says whatever comes to her goddamn mind and has literally no fucking control over it. And the same can be said the other way around. So, you know, before that happened, I was, like, deeply into, like, weed and shrooms and stuff like that, and, like, hallucinogenics, because, like, A, they made me feel good, B, they had me performing really well academically. They were, like, a primary reason for, like, why I, like, getting through depression and being happy. Like, those were the moments that were, like, my happiest moments. Or whatever. And, they generally look down on that kind of thing. They think it's bad for you. They, liken that behavior to criminal behavior. And that side of the family is a side that has been into all sorts of other stuff, like, addiction, alcoholism. Somebody on that side of the family got caught for CP. So, I mean, you know, they just automatically assume that I'm just another one of the black sheep, because it seemed to them like I was going down that same path. So, you know, those two factors combined made me just as bad as the other guy and just as bad as the other guy and stuff. So I'm essentially black sheeped from here on out. and stuff. And none of us have the same bond that we used to have when we were kids. Anyway, like, my cousin's got a fiance and he spends like most of the time just talking to her now. He's a complete like boring doormat character now that says almost nothing of importance or note, has no deep complex conversational skills at all, or just chooses not to, and just kind of, I can tell there's already so much distance between us and them. And I feel like Kyle kind of put it best when he said this thing. He said, even if you were part of some gross family hive mind, are y'all really so fragile that you'll let a little shit talk manipulate you into going out of your way to indulge the wishes of a group of toxic, manipulative fuckwads who amuse themselves by stepping all over you? Yeah, that's essentially what it is. Whenever they invite us, they are doing it to try to keep the family together, because the glue that was originally who was doing that isn't around anymore. So, you know, without that person, there's a very low chance that we're going to feel motivated to go to any of their family events. And whenever my brother's not there, I don't want to be there because he's the only one that somehow manages to make it even somewhat fun or entertaining in the first place. And, you know, if their idea of, hey, we want me to show up to, you know, an 18-year-old's Barbie party with half of the people in attendance being minors, that's a great idea. Way to go. Somebody who's spent their whole life pretty much sexually suppressed, being surrounded by minors is a great idea. Yeah, awesome. Way to go thinking. So I'm just sitting there pouting / pretending that I'm asleep the whole time because I can't possibly talk to anybody at this party because none of them are in my age range. So why would I fucking bother, right? And then on top of that, you know, I already don't feel like there's any sort of bond left with any of those people. I actually don't like / don't love Madeline at all. If she was dead tomorrow, I wouldn't care. Because that's what she's done. She has done everything in her power to make it so that I wouldn't want to be associated with her or talk to her at all. She's broken every single one of my boundaries. She's constantly insulting and says terrible shit about me to my face. That I know that half of those comments are coming from her family members who say that behind my back, and then she says it out loud because she has no filter. So I get to hear the criticisms of my character through her lips of the entire family on that side. And then on top of all that, like, I just recently asked for a letter of rec for a position that I'm overqualified for, yes, but I do need money, and it would be better to, you know, have them potentially hire me anyway just so that I can get something. And instead of doing the letter of rec, she just didn't do it, and then said on top of that they wouldn't hire me because I'm overqualified and they don't want to take the time to go through the whole hiring process for me to just quit like a couple months later when I find something better. And I was like, but they won't, because who knows if I'm going to find something better. I mean, look at how the economy is going to go soon. Like, we're all thinking that, you know, places are going to hire less in response to, like, the tariffs, and that prices are going to go up and stuff like that. So, but that's a separate issue. I'm not going to get into that. The point of it all is she found an excuse to not do what I needed, and then on top of that, like, gaslight the whole situation of, like, not helping me out because of that. Oh, shoot, I should end this. I don't want this going on stream.